Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 10th official episode of the Hawk's Eye View. Some of you may know what we're talking about today. It's based around a survey that the entire school has been given not too long ago. Regardless, I'm here with my usual board.
Hi, it's Hafsa again.
Hi, I'm Sebastian.
This is Ethan Coe.
Yeah. So this episode was based around the schools and some of our personal histories with extracurricular activities. We've had this one, in the pipeline for a while.
Yeah, extracurriculars are so ingrained in our academic lives that to not mention them at all on a school podcast would just be heresy,
Yeah, we sent out a survey, I think it was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks. It asked some pretty basic questions regarding students and extracurriculars, and yeah.
One thing that we didn't consider was the open response questions. For our purposes, we probably should have simplified them to multiple choice, which wouldn't be that tough. But let's just dig into stats.
So the questions that were sent out were, the first one were how many extracurricular activities have you had, which is basically clubs in or out of school or activities outside of school. The second was, have you ever had an extracurricular activity, and what was it / what were they? And then which activity did you... Oh my god, my tongue is... Okay. Which activity did you enjoy the most? And then the last one was, how many of these activities were your own choice and not forced upon you by your parents?
So starting with the first question, I think the stat that stands out the most is the 5 or more stat, aka people who had 5 or more extracurricular activities. That is at 43.9%. A lot of people have had a lot of extracurricular activities, and I think it does say a lot to how much we do them and how often we either jump between them or do them, God forbid, all at the same time.
The rest of the stats, the rest of the options were basically 1 to 5. So 1 was 7% of students who answered, which, by the way, were 115. So thank you, guys. 2 extracurriculars were 13.2% of the students who answered. 3 were 16.7%. 4 was 10.5%, and 5 was 8.8%. The other two. The second and third questions were free responses. So the last question, I will just go over the stats really quick. The one that asks if you were the one who chose the activities and not your parents. So for one activity that our students chose of their own
themselves.
Volition. Yeah.
There is 25.9%, and actually 1 and 2 are surprisingly equal. Didn't expect that.
They're tied, yeah.
Yeah, 25.9% between those two. 3 activities chosen by themselves is 17.6%. 4 has 12%. 5 has 3.7%. It's kind of weird because 5 or more has 14.8%. So people I guess it's just a rarity to have picked 5 of your own. But yeah. And for the free response questions, there are a lot of the same things. Like I said, we probably could have made it multiple response fairly easily. And there were a lot of good responses here.
Sorry, yeah. One of the things that surprised me was that 25.9% of everyone who responded only picked 1 extracurricular activity out of... actually, we don't know how many extracurricular activities that percentage has in total, but, it's still surprising.
Yeah. All of the data was really insightful for what extracurriculars were among our peers. So personally, I've had a fairly rocky road when it comes to extracurriculars. The earliest one I can remember having That one isn't so bad. I first had a piano class, which I'm still doing today. Um, I remember doing some early sports. I remember doing basketball as a kid. I eventually stopped because I didn't like it that much, and I was in 2 straight tournaments where my team completely wiped out. So that's fun. Eventually, I jumped to baseball for a while, but I decided that the time sink that it was just wasn't matching up to my progress being made. So now I'm doing tennis. So 3 different sports in terms of my extracurriculars. Other extracurriculars, though, mostly supplementary classes. I did a brief stint at art class, though that ended. My sister is still keeping up with the art classes. And I've really only done 2 instruments other than piano, which is clarinet classes, and then now bass clarinet classes. I'd say I'm pretty free when it comes to extracurriculars. Actually, I take that back. I have a lot of extracurriculars throughout the week. They're just not very notable.
For me, the earliest extracurricular I can remember was tennis. I don't really remember if I liked that or not. After that, I did swimming and I've been doing swimming for a long time. I kind of
I just
been on
remembered.
pause for a couple years.
Yeah, because of the quarantine, right?
Yeah, and also because we moved and stuff. But yeah,
okay.
Hopefully
Yeah,
I'll
I also
be
did swimming
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most people did swimming.
At some point, yeah, probably.
And also I did some extracurriculars at the same time as others, but I don't remember which specific ones. But later on, I did competitive swimming classes, not competitive swim team. I also did water polo. Oh, and I did gymnastics. Oof, that was before tennis. Then I also did basketball. I remember, I think it was my first game, my first tournament against another team. My mom made a big poster and she cheered me on, and none of the other parents had it, and it was so awkward. But I was very young, so I appreciated the support.
Yeah, there were a lot of responses. Really quickly. Yeah, there were a lot of responses that had basketball in them when it comes to activities that were enjoyed or just any extracurriculars.
Yeah.
Just really universal sport. Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
for my remaining extracurriculars, well, I've been doing Arabic classes for a while. I'm still doing them. Also, I guess the Hawk podcast counts as one.
Oh, maybe.
So yeah, those are all of them.
Yeah, you brought up a language. I just remembered I'm also doing a Chinese class, which is nice. You, Sebastian?
Why do you have so many extracurriculars?
Overachievers. Overachievement. It's in our blood.
Sebastian.
Alright, so my extracurriculars, the first one I did was like taekwondo or something. I kept doing for I think 2 years and then dropped it because I forgot. I don't know. And then I did swimming for like a really long time, like everyone else. And I think after that I like took a lot of extracurriculars and then like dropped a lot of them. I remember I did basketball for like a week and then I stopped because I sprained like both of my arms or something.
Oh.
And then I now I have no extracurriculars. So yeah, that's my story.
You're always pretty free when we do recordings.
Yeah.
Yeah, also looking at the stats, there are a ton of martial arts and languages. They're just pretty universal things to have.
I wonder what would have happened if we put a 0 option there. I think it would have been pretty sad because probably most of the people would have picked 0.
Yeah. Extracurriculars are pretty often they are often taken up activities, and they can be very helpful. And they do get something on your college application. I bet that really means something to a lot of people. But make sure you're balancing them with the rest of your life and not just taking them up just for the sake of taking them up, you know?
Okay, I'm gonna say something here.
Okay.
If your parents force you to do something like this, just know that it's probably in your best interest, even if your parents don't know that this is gonna. Most of the time, your parents probably know this is gonna actually help you in future. But even if they don't realize that this is actually gonna help you, you don't know. Maybe you'll need that skill. Maybe you needed those tennis classes for hand-eye coordination in your new job, or you know, you needed that new language that's gonna really help you later on in life.
Communicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a weird balance you gotta strike with extracurriculars. So I just say, don't worry about it too much. Worrying never really helps with it. Just work with your extracurriculars. Try not to overload yourself. They're important. Just don't get yourself in too deep. That's when problems come in. And I think that should tie the topic up nicely. Any last words we want to have about this?
Yeah, one last thing. Thanks so much to everyone who responded to the survey. Without the data, the episode would have been impossible. And also, this was our first experiment with it anyways. We'll be sure to maybe send one or two more your way once we get the chance. But other than that, we should be done. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
See you next time on the Hawk's Eye View.